night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world. A group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Happy Sunday. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and that you had a wonderful time with family. I know family stuff can be rough sometimes. Maybe the holidays aren't the happiest time of year for you. But I hope that you are finding joy. And hopefully you have a found family, if you don't have a bio family that you like to hang out with. We're waiting on the keeper of the dojo, Brian himself. He is on his way. He's ran into some bad weather on his way back home, so we'll get started without him. But I want to go and welcome everyone that's in the chat with us today. Thank you guys for showing up here and hanging out. We're going to try to talk about Dojo's campaign that he's got running over here and throw some support his way. I'm going to go ahead and throw that link here in the chat just so everyone has it. It can be found over on Fund My Comic simply by searching The Shifter. Or by following the link that I am so clumsily trying to grab right now and place in the chat. We'll get there. There you go. There it is. There it is, right there. All right. So welcome. We got Levi Skeen in the house. Welcome. It's great to have you here. Hail to the chat. And he's got the hand pink waving. Pink hand waving. Very good. Agent Zero says, hey there. Welcome. It's good to have you here. You can probably hear my wife in the background shouting. It is the fourth quarter of the Jags and Texas games. It is a rivalry game. And we're hoping the Jags pull off a win today. Be good. Be good for us. We've got Bionic Bruh. It has begun. Yes, Bionic Bruh. Bionic Bruh is in the house. Levi Skeen again. On mobile, sorry. Let's see what else we got here. We got Grey Wolf Graphics. Welcome, Hail Chat. It's good to have you here. Paul from AGE Comics. Hello, everyone. Great to have you as aware. Paul, I need to make sure I've got the link for the final lettering pages so I can have the editor go over them one last time. Maybe DM me that. Make sure that I haven't lost it, because it's been a crazy, crazy week. All right, who else do we have here today? It looks like Ray Haylock is in the house. Welcome, Ray. Hail chat and panel. Thank you. Thanks for sending it that way. Yeah, it's we're about ready to get that off to print. I guess what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and just slide this over here onto this page so that you can see it. Again, we are waiting for Dojo to show up. This is the campaign that we'll be working on. I'm drawing this young lady here in the front with the glowy hands. And she's holding a chicken on that cover. So I'm about ready to draw a blonde in standard looking clothing. I like those shoes. That's gonna be fun to draw. This book looks good. The art looks good in this book. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic for a second. Oh goodness golly, the Jags just won 24-21 with a missed field goal by the opposition at the last minute. Hit the crossbars and went out of bounds and went off. So yeah, the Jags win. Yay. Jags win. Very excited about that. Yeah, but here, so check this one out. We've also got another campaign that's currently live on Fund My Comic that I would like to promote a little bit, and this is Starcross Team Up. I'm doing so much right now with my computer. It is having a little bit of trouble loading everything. There we go. 13 backers, $331 we've raised. We're only 13% to our goal. We have 10 days left. The book's being made, regardless of what our funding goal is. It is finished. All this stuff will get out to everyone. No worries, no problems. But we would like to raise that money there. That'd be nice. That's about what we've got into the project over the last 5 years of trying to do it ourselves and then paying for some extra things like coloring and lettering to be done here at the last minute to get it done. But you can see some of Paul's work, because Paul is the letterer for this project. And so we do encourage you to go check this out. We took advantage of one of our new features, which is the ability to rearrange orders. So our featured tiers, the $75 complete bundle. Then we've got the $10 physical, the $40 joint cover, which is a special edition version of Hybrids #1 and GOD #1 that you can check out. Laces out. Einhorn is Lewis. Lewis is Einhorn. The $5 digital. You can add the chibi stickers on for $10. And $3 buy the guys a coffee, and there's a $20 metal print. Check that out there. Also, we are getting ready to fulfill very soon, very, very soon, on Chrome Dog. Once Chrome Dog fulfills, we will also be sending out the Arrow Bundle #2. So anybody that's been waiting on Arrow Bundle #1 and Arrow Bundle #2, if you ordered both of those, we're shipping them all together. We will be shipping those out here in December as well, because Chrome Dog is ready. It is being lettered. As you can see here, some of the new art. Really tried to give you guys a great book to read, something fun. Justin did a great job on the writing of this book, on the story, and I was pretty happy to join in on the art. Had a lot of fun drawing it, especially some of the fight scenes here at the end. They were fun. Pardon me, I took a little bit of a nap earlier. I'm still yawning. You know, it happens. But man of the hour is here. Welcome.
People forget how to drive in the snow.
Yeah, I understand, man. This is my first year back. So with Southern Indiana doesn't get as bad as weather as Northern Indiana, where I originally was from. So I'm not looking forward to what might be. I'm not looking forward to what might be here in Indiana, because I haven't driven in snow for a long time.
I know Northern Indiana gets the lake effect from Lake Michigan. I lived in Monticello, Delphi for a while, And yeah, it gets dumped on.
They certainly do. I went to a wedding there one day, and they was getting some lake effect snow, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. I'm out of here." So we lived in Kokomo, which was about 50 miles north of Indianapolis. So
Yep.
Stoplight City is what we called it.
Oh, yeah. Kokomo would have been almost due east from where I was.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. I'm very familiar with the Monticello area. We would go up there to Indiana Beach.
Oh, the amusement park. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
There's
great.
more than corn in Indiana. Yes, it's called weed.
Wow.
There's lots and lots of weed in Indiana.
But I made it back alive. So I see you've got the campaign up. Thank you very much.
I do. Yeah. I'll just talk about that. Waiting for you to show up so we can start drawing on your character. We've got What Geeks Do Network is here. What's up, chat? What's up, Luke? Good to have you here. And then what is that Grave was saying? I don't miss the snow up there. I used to get bad over in southern Johnson County around Nineveh. I've seen Nineveh and Franklin, and I'm not familiar with Trafalgar or whatever.
Yep, Trafalgar.
I'm in the Wabash Valley.
Okay.
I didn't know that until I watched the news the other day. And they said, "Welcome, Wabash Valley area." I'm like, "Oh, I'm in the Wabash Valley." AG Comics, we just got our first snow, and it was amazing. Well, you guys can keep it. Thursday morning, I'm going out smoking the turkey, Brian.
Oh, okay. Nice.
31 degrees. I did not realize how difficult it would be to bring the smoker up to temperature when you're fighting an ambient air temperature of 31 degrees.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it would take longer. Yep.
Wow, it was terrible. It was so cold, it was bitter. But the turkey was amazing when it was finished.
Oh, good.
So tell me a little bit about this character.
So Naya is the protagonist. She's the woman you see on the left. And I hesitate to say woman. She's a very young woman. She's in her mid to late teens. So it's important that we don't portray her as over-sexualized.
Thank you.
That.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yes.
That is so good for me to know.
It's very important because the author wants this to be just a teenager who's growing and learning, but there's no sexualization. There's a little bit of a romantic tension between her and Danilo, but it's only, kids sort of discovering, hey, I think I like girls. Hey, I think I like guys, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's nothing overt or whatever. It's just sort of in the background. She is, in fact, the cover you're showing right there where she's holding the chicken, Renzo Rodriguez did that cover. And the first sketch he gave me was far too sexy, and it looked great, but I'm like, that's not going to work. So I explained to him what I just explained to you. He's like, we
don't want to run into a been done situation.
We can do this differently, and I think he captured her pretty well. He put the chicken in a strategic location, and he turned her body slightly so it wasn't an ass shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, okay, perfect. And he softened her face so she'd look younger.
Okay. Knowing that she's younger, it helps me out a lot.
Okay.
Because from this image, I thought that she was a little older. She looked like she was in her mid-20s.
Yeah. No, she's like 16 at most.
Okay. So we are going to treat her respectfully.
Thank you. So about her, more than just her age, she is in an island nation. It's a set of islands that are all together, and they've been conquered by another country. And
hold on. Is that background music too loud?
I do feel like I'm shouting, yes.
Okay, well, let me work on that for just 1 second.
Okay.
So I play royalty-free music in the background.
I mean, I think it would be okay if you were just drawing and we weren't trying to have a conversation.
Yeah. Usually that's the volume. That seems a little better for a conversation.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
There we go.
Appreciate it. So she's in this island nation that's been conquered by an enemy, and she is among a small set of people in her nation who can do something called shifting. They're mostly teenagers that can do this, but I guess they're of all ages, and they can shift pain from a person who's received an injury, and they push that pain, once they've taken it into their body, they push it into this blue metal called pinvium. It's a cobalt blue. And that pinbium then takes the pain to a certain amount. Once it's full and it can't accept anymore. And the person trying to push it into the metal, sort of, they can kind of feel like, oh, this one can't accept anymore. What they do sometimes is they push the pain into, let's say, an axe, the blade of an axe. And if they do that, when somebody delivers a blow with that axe, in addition to the pain that the axe would normally cause, you also get all the pain that was pushed into it.
Ooh.
Which makes, the weapons particularly, painful. I was going to say lethal, but not necessarily. It depends on how much pain has been pushed into the weapon. Now, Naya herself, though, can't push the pain into the metal. She can only push pain from one person to another. So she's got to keep that a secret from the occupying army, or they will weaponize her against her own people. So she's worried about that. Her sister goes into the Healers League, which is kind of a religious organization in their world, and they heal people for a certain amount of donation or tithe. The organization, though, is somewhat sinister, and I don't want to give away any more than that, but her sister is in peril. So she's got to worry about her sister in peril in this organization. She has to worry about her own safety and not being manipulated. Plus, she lost both of her parents to the last war. So, she's orphaned. She ends up being homeless. This is the beginning of a hero's journey for this young woman, and she starts from very meager beginnings. And I would say, I would liken this, to be honest with you, this trilogy, The Healing Wars, I would say it's very similar to like the beginnings and the hero arc of either The Hunger Games or Divergent.
Okay.
So, with Katniss Everdeen, she starts out very meager beginnings, just in that small community. And she learns throughout The Hunger Games to be more and more of a hero as time goes by. And that's what Naya does as well. So, that's where the similarity ends, though. This isn't a retelling of either of those trilogies. It's just that's if you like either of those books, I would say that this one is for you for sure. When I read so my wife read this series first, and she liked it a lot, and she said, "Now I know that you like the Song of Ice and Fire, you like the Sword of Truth, you like the Wheel of Time." She goes, "This one's not going to be nearly as complex as those, but I think you'll still like it. So give it a try. If you don't like the first one, you don't have to read the other two." Well, I did like the first one very, very much. So I did read the trilogy. It's very well done. There's a couple of little nuances. Janice does a great job of world building. And I had just finished the trilogy, and a friend of mine and I were talking on the phone about planning to get together for lunch, and it was just top of mind because I just finished it. I don't normally talk about the books I've read with him, but again, top of mind. So I said, "Hey, I just read this trilogy. I was wondering if you'd like to borrow it." He goes, "Oh, I've read it." I'm like, "Oh, you have?" He's like, "Yeah, it's really good. Do you want to talk to the author?" I'm like, "Sure. How could you arrange that?" And he goes, "Well, I work with her husband." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So first of all, this was, a suggestion by my wife. I just happened to be, talking about it to Steve, which I normally don't. And he happens to know the husband of the author. This was like a perfect, it was like, I don't know, karma or some kind of synergy or something, or,
Right.
So I hesitate to say divine intervention, but who knows? Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe, yeah.
So I did reach out to her, and we talked for a while, and I said, "I'd really like to adapt your trilogy into comic books. I think that it's exciting enough that it would grab the attention of the readers, and it's a great story. It's well written, good world that you've built here. And although her and her husband aren't comic book collectors, they have been comic fans historically." And she was excited. She's like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I'd love to do that." So we worked out a licensing agreement. The first time I tried to fund this was back in 2021, and my funding goal was very high. I think that shied people away from it. But it was also going to be a much larger book, and I was trying to cover not only the cost of the artist, the colorist, the letterer, and the licensing fee, but Also all of the other things that come with this, the tchotchkes and the add-ons and stretch goals and packaging, postage, and printing. All of those things add up. I know that the $10,000 is about what it costs to put a comic book together if you're not the artist also.
Yeah, pretty much.
So for this one here, you might say, well, then how can you now say that the goal is 5,000? It's a good question, and I don't mind answering it. We've changed the number of pages here. We've changed how the licensing fee will be paid to her. So some things have changed. I've got a new strategy as far as those things go, and we're not having so many of those add-ons and all that. And I think a lot of people are kind of going away from that, at least as consumers or backers. They're liking the idea of these extras a little bit less. I mean, some people still find trading cards pretty cool, and so do I. The prints are neat. I don't have anywhere to put them, so I keep them with the comic in the comic book boxes. So I'm trying to really streamline this campaign, and it's obvious when you look at the campaign that there's not a lot to it. There's the ash can, the coloring book, some stickers are available. I just tried to keep it simple.
I do see that a lot of people are going to something a little more simple. I like that. I kind of like that's kind of why I made the option, like for the shopping cart. Like one of the things that I did on my very first campaign was for $5 more you get the tchotchkes, like stretch goals. So you could literally opt out of all the stretch goals if you didn't want to have any of those.
That's a good plan. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
She looks a little more ethnic than I intend to make her.
Well, the thing is, she could actually be ethnic. She's blonde in the story. It's the people who have taken over her country have the dark, like raven hair. And one of her friends is a redhead. So I know when the movie is made of this series, they're going to swap out the redhead. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. She's definitely going to be black. They're not going to let that stand.
Right. Although, hey, I don't know if you heard, but Jimmy Olsen's being played by a white male redhead.
I had not heard that.
In the upcoming Superman Legacy. I was like, what? What's happening here?
They're finally starting to, who knows? I don't want to get my hopes up. They're not starting to learn anything.
I've also got my hopes up for the second season of She-Hulk and the second season of Moon Knight. And yeah, people are looking at me like, you're crazy.
I did not like the She-Hulk.
You didn't? No,
I did not care for it.
A lot of people didn't. I didn't in so many ways, but there were some things that were redeeming about it. So I can hope. I'm a longtime fan of that character since she debuted in 1980.
Oh, yeah. I've always loved She-Hulk.
That's amazing. A very long time. Oh, Fanta's here. Hey, Fanta. Good to see you.
Welcome, Fanta.
And I saw you say hi to...
keep an eye on the comments for me because I'm a...
Yeah, no worries. I see that the Woke Breaker is here. How you doing? Paul Bird from AGE Comics. He's my letterer, and glad to see him here. He will identify. Speaking of Jimmy Olsen, the Woke Breaker says he will identify as black, probably. And then
he might be gay. Let's wait.
Yeah, that's true. They might him
go
gay
ahead
and
make
lame.
Him gay. Yeah,
gay and
that
lame.
was so funny. That was such a funny movie they made.
The South Park, you mean?
Yes. That was so funny.
Woke Breaker also says, sad what they did to her. Yes, a lot of people said that the She-Hulk season was based on John Byrne's run on the Sensational She-Hulk, the first Sensational She-Hulk. The second one just is on issue 2 right now. But the first one was a long time ago. It was after he had written her as a member of the Fantastic Four. In the Fantastic Four, John Byrne did amazing characterization of She-Hulk. Really made her an independent, intelligent, I don't know. I can't speak highly enough about what he did when she was in the Fantastic Four. But when he wrote the Sensational She-Hulk, he made her the constant butt of a joke. he was, I think, too enamored with his own cleverness. I mean, she was facing people like Spragg the Living Hill. She went up against like Razorback, the guy who has the pig on his head. Everything was a joke, and I don't know why he did that. He was only there for the first 8 issues, and then the team after he left tried to keep up with that and did even worse, in my opinion, in the Sensational She-Hulk. He came back at issue number 30. And, you know, the joke was that was during like assistant editor month or something like that.
Yeah.
So he tried to take the number, the cover showed him removing the number and trying to put the number 9 up there, like 9 through 29 never happened. And he was coming back to save the series. But yeah, it never did reach the level of characterization that he did in Fantastic Four. Since then, the closest they came to treating her with respect was when Charles Soule wrote the series. And the reason I say that, he's a lawyer. So he was writing it with a lawyer bent, you know, which I thought would be fitting. And it was okay. I mean, I still think she hasn't been handled as well as she was in I guess that was the mid to late 80s, maybe early 90s when she was in the Fantastic Four.
Ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I don't think she's been handled well since then, but still been a fan. In fact, I just went to the comic book store today on the way home. It dropped a lot of money. My local comic book store hooks me up. They give me at least one copy of all the variants that they get. They don't get all of the variants, but they get a good portion of them. And, you know, God bless him. He gives me one of all of them and only charges cover price for them, which,
oh, wow. That's
in my opinion, is the right thing to do. They're brand new comics.
Yeah.
Why can you get a variant and then mark it up? Now, I kind of see there is a bit of argument for that. And that's because in order to get variant, you know, G, you've got to order 50 copies of the book. But if your store will sell 50 copies, then
it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal,
it
right?
Be.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So charging more than cover price for a brand new variant, I think is I don't know, unethical in my opinion.
I kind of agree.
So yeah, I still collect She-Hulk. It's the only characters books that I collect. I will collect another series or title if she's in it. Like I also grabbed a copy of Secret Wars because I see that not only is she in the upper left corner with all of the little floating heads, but she's also on the cover. So chances are she's in the Secret Wars. And I think they're setting that up because she will be in the movie as well, the upcoming Avengers movie.
I hope they don't screw up the Secret Wars when they try them.
They're going to.
Yeah, they're going.
They're just going to.
You just go to. They're going to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, they are going to screw it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Doc Blaylock joined us. Hey, Doc. He says, "Hey, Luke, Dojo, and the chat. Thank you, Doc, for being here."
Guys, I put the. I'm gonna try to put the link to the comic in the. Oh, I gotta copy it again. Let's do this. Let's go. Come on. Put that back up here. Copy your link. Guys, we are trying to ring the bell, make the bird dance. We're trying to flip Brian the bird.
I'm not following.
Are you familiar with that?
I'm not following, no.
Whenever we raise money, I have a little dancing bird that I play.
Oh, okay.
And we call it flipping him the bird.
Okay.
So we want to flip you the bird today. This is the only time we're getting flip the bird is good.
Yes, that's right. The bird. Doc knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to give Doc the bird. He wants the bird. Here, I'll give you a preview of what the bird is.
Okay.
All right. So this is what we want.
This is what we want to happen, folks.
I'm not talking about the. I'm not talking about the savage turkey. I'm not talking about him. I made that for Thanksgiving and I never wound up using it.
Oh no, it's a good job.
So I have the bird here. This is what I'm talking about. We want to get that thing dancing today.
It's like a merengue.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to keep a very positive attitude about this, but since it's launched, I've only got 7 backers on the project. And I think this project has a lot of potential, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing it. But
Right.
I think that there is a place for a story like this. I'm trying to come up with ways to reach a wider audience than just the audience that I've been talking to since I launched. We've got a small circle, a small niche of fans and friends here that, will support. But at the same time, I know that times are tough. Times are lean. Grocery bills are incredible. Gas has been over $3 a gallon for quite a while. We've been thrown into this unbelievable inflation by the current administration, and they keep telling us that economics are booming. It's like, I don't know what you're looking at.
I don't see it.
You're lying.
Yeah.
You're gaslighting the entire country, and
Really
it's not right. I'm also, however, not so far as to think that his likely opponent in the race is going to do a whole lot better. He might correct some of the inflation.
But it's so far gone.
I wish we could. Whatever happened, and I don't know if it was ever the case. Maybe we've just been misled. But whatever happened to somebody who's a bit more moderate? I want somebody more middle of the road. That I don't have to agree with everything that the candidates say or subscribe to, but I wish I could agree with some of it.
Give me one or 2 points that work out.
Yeah, everything seems to be so far to one side or the other. I'm more, the older I get, the more centrist I become, because I can see great points on both sides. It's just they take it to the nutty extremes. So with the economy the way it is, people are curtailing their spending. And one of the things that is, discretionary spending is backing these campaigns.
Yeah, entertainment in general.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Disney's feeling the crunch.
Well, they're feeling the crunch, but I think that they could get past it if they just...
Yeah, a lot of theirs is self-inflicted.
If they just would respect the source material.
Yeah. I mean, people want to be entertained. They still want comics.
Yeah.
They still want games. They're still spending money on that stuff. It's finding them. And then being able to, make the argument that my book deserves your money more than this book over here that you also like. It's how do you do
that's very
that?
hard, because not only because, one, I like to be a little, humble. I know I should be on here saying this is the most amazing book you'll ever read. I can't do that. I'm absolutely confident that you will enjoy this, but there are other books out there too, and it's like, I'm not going to diss anybody else's work because I'm out there backing them. You know what I mean? So yeah. Obviously, I like the look of them and all that. I have had to trim down my number of backs. Since joining this circle of comics, I hesitate to say a specific, label, but since finding the indie comic realm, if you will, I've backed 237 projects. So that was since September of 2020. I was looking at my spreadsheet, within the last couple of days, and I'm seeing that I'm still out a few $100s from 2021. That the books I have not yet received, but
That's unfortunate.
I can't get too critical about that because I'm late with Projectile Reptile, and I know it. It's like the sword of Damocles hanging over my head. I'm doing what I can to get there though, and I've got a couple of things in the works that will make that happen. I'm hoping sooner than later. I don't want to make any promises though. So now you say, not you say, but I can imagine people thinking, if you're behind on Projectile Reptile, why are you launching this? Also a great question. I'm launching this because the license that I have with Janice Hardy, the author, has an expiration date. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I launched this in 2021. It failed to fund. If I had to get going on this, or that license will expire. And as much as she likes the fact that I brought this to her, I can imagine her thinking, if this one fails, all right, well, apparently I need to take this somewhere else.
Yep.
So I needed to get going on this and get the marketing. I need to ramp it up so that more eyes get on this project and get excited about reading it. Agent Zero is with us. Hey, Agent Zero, how are you? He's lurking because he's on mobile. Okay, cool. Well, glad you're here. If you have the opportunity, everyone hit like and subscribe to Luke's channel.
Yes, please.
He is one of those ambassadors that, really helps the indie comics by not just creating the site that you're seeing here, the Fund My Comics, but also too by being a champion for those of us who are creating indie comics.
There's not a lot of, well, I take that's not true. There are a lot of people out there that try to champion it. There's also a lot of people that try to exploit their fellow creators.
Yes.
And that's unfortunate. We've all had encounters with that. And there's
Dave
so many
Brink is
people.
with us.
Welcome, Dave. There's so many people that really just want to tear down just everything. Like, we've been kind of dealing with some unhinged behavior online.
I've seen it. Yeah. I tried to speak out against it, but they are not persuadable.
No. Well, the thing is, those kind of people, they never believe they're wrong.
Right.
I mean, they think they know what they know, and they don't know. Yeah.
There are also people in the indie comics realm who pick fights just for the drama. They are drama farmers, drama streamers, and it's super unfortunate because they really ought to be pulling everybody up. The common phrase that we've been using for years now is a rising tide raises all ships. You don't have to tear me down to make your book seem special.
True.
But they would argue, no, that's not what I'm doing. The thing is, it's so obvious.
It feels that way.
It's so obvious that they're just doing it to stir stuff up and get people angry, so that when I'm thinking of one person in particular, I don't even want to give him oxygen and say the name, but when he came down on me like that, it's like, I think he wants me to fight back, and my best course of action is not to.
That's always smart. Don't give it oxygen.
Right.
The pettiness in comics right now. It's always been there.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
I'm more frustrated by it than I've ever been, I think, because it's, there was the thing, we always said we needed an alternative. And so, I went and made one. I took hard-earned dollars, money that was there to kind of, provide for my family. I took my severance from the church, which was supposed to be our living money. And I took that money to invest in this, to make this thing a thing.
Well, then I sincerely hope then that with the number of people who are coming to your crowdfunding platform, that you're starting to make that money back with the fees.
No.
No?
Because all of the money that we make is going right back into it.
Oh.
Like the new feature that we just added where you can adjust your rewards.
Oh, yeah. I meant to ask you.
Order.
I'll ask you here live. Is that something you can do on a campaign that you've already launched and started?
Yes,
Okay.
You can. Right now, we are making an update to that feature because that edit box is hidden behind the "Do Not Edit If" code. If someone has already claimed the reward, so some people can't edit them afterwards, so we have to have an admin do it.
I see.
But we're working on that, an update to where those will always be infinitely editable when it comes to that feature, that section.
Oh, excellent.
So,
Grey Wolf Graphics says he just backed it, but the site is. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Grey Wolf.
You had how many?
I had 7
backers.
7 backers. Yeah.
7 backers. Let's refresh that. I see 9 backers.
2 more. All right, flip me the bird, dude.
Whoa. We are behind, guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
It looks like you've got a bunch of art done for this too already. How far along in this production are you?
See, and sort of like you were saying when you sank your money into the Fund My Comic website, I've been sinking my money into this before getting crowdfunded, and it's kind of painful because I, I send my wife a certain amount of my paycheck, and then what remains is mine, and I'm living paycheck to pay. I'm living like I used to when I was when I was more of a pauper than I am today. Looking at my home and what I do for a living, you'd think, well, you're fine. What are you bitching about, Brian?
But all of your extra money's going into.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm living very paycheck to paycheck. I'm cutting it very close every month in order to get some of this done, to give people confidence that this is a book not only worth reading, but worth viewing. Because comic books are such a visual medium, I want people to see that this art is very well done. Zilson Costa has worked with me before. He did issues 3 and 4 of Siamese. So I know we've got a great rapport. When I send him scripts, he is so good at interpreting what I wrote. And that's a kudos to him because English isn't his first language. So, he
definitely kudos to him.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly his English is far better than my Portuguese ever would be. He's from Brazil.
My
I want to say hi to
is non-existent.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say hi to Nicholas Gear. Thank you so much for being here.
Man.
And I see Carol Colors just joined us. Thank you for being here,
Carol.
Yeah, welcome. Paul from AGE Comics said just backed both the Shifter and Trash Man and Starstruck
awesome.
team up. Wow,
Thank
Paul,
you.
thanks so much for your support. That's awesome.
I guess we got to make the bird dance again.
Yeah.
Flipped us both the bird. I like
Love
that
bird. Yeah.
It's hard not to
bird's
like
awesome.
that bird.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can tell you about the story without giving too much away.
Yeah, you don't want to give too many spoilers away.
I don't.
So who do you think this would be if there's someone out there looking to buy this book for either themselves or maybe somebody else? Who do you think this character really will speak to?
Yeah, the fact that it's a female protagonist, please don't think it's woke. It's really not. She just happens to be female. This could be a male in the story. So it's not so much, girl power and Mary Sue or anything like that. It's just that Janice, the author, wanted to write it with a female protagonist and the female's sister. Her sister, like I said, is the one that's in the Healers League. There's a number of characters. The guy holding the blade on the cover is Danello. He's also a teen. I'd say he's about 17 or 18 years old in the story. And he also goes through a hero's journey or a story arc. So there are also big bads in the story that are adults. Not to the point where adults bad, but it just so happens that the leader of the Healers League is somebody that she's got to contend with. And one of the things that folks in this world have to deal with is if the Healers League is too busy, you can go to something called a pain merchant. The pain merchants will buy pain from you in order to shift that pain into their weapons that they then later sell. So they certainly have, an entrepreneurial or capitalistic point of view, but the pain merchants are kind of, they're not to the level of drug dealer, but they're sort of, I don't know, they're looked at with disdain or, oh, you guys are just in it for the money. And it's like, that doesn't mean evil.
Yeah.
Just because somebody's, being capitalistic or entrepreneurial, that's now, I suppose you can.
Dojo, you make this comic for money. How evil.
Right. I know, right? That doesn't mean evil. I suppose you can approach these things with unethical, methodology, but, anyway, so Naya is faced with a lot of decisions. And in some cases, in my opinion, she makes decisions that I wouldn't. And there are consequences to her decisions, just like a great hero's story arc would have. There are things that she does that, get her in trouble sometimes. And the allies that she makes along the way, some of them are truly loyal, some of them aren't. So there's a lot of great story twists in this world that Janice has written. So, This is also the kind of book, though, that if it were sitting on the coffee table and your 7-year-old daughter or niece or granddaughter were to pick it up, you'd have no concerns. It would be fine for the, as young as whoever can read, basically. It's fine for them to look at it. This is all ages, but that doesn't mean it's geared toward children. It's just that children can read it and it would be no problem.
It's appropriate.
Yes.
Or rather not inappropriate for all ages.
Exactly.
I kind of like that way sometimes.
I think that there's a place for books that have the TNA. This just isn't one of them, and that's okay. There's different genres out there. I think
we all know that you like books like that.
Fair enough.
we know Dojo likes the sexy books.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. A couple of mine have been. To be honest, though, really only one panel in my previous books has had any nudity whatsoever. So,
well, you've got to
take that for what it's worth. So, yeah, my wife was expressing a little bit of disappointment in some of the sexiness in my books, and I said, well, number one, it sells, so there's that. I said, but number two, I'm taking to heart her, not objection, but her asking me to tone it down a bit. And yeah, you know what? This book here is perfectly suited for getting a little bit away from that. Okay. And my superhero books aren't going to lean on that at all anymore. It doesn't mean that they can't be sexy. I mean, one of the things about a sexy superhero, if you think about it, these superheroes, if they're fighting crime on a regular basis, they're going to need to be lean and fit in order to keep up with, the martial arts fights or whatever.
You could be sexy without being sexual.
Yes. In fact, we had Graham Nolan on Incendiary way back when it first became Incendiary. He was on the show, and we talked about that very thing, the difference between sensual and sexual. Can a character be sexy without being sexual? Absolutely. And, the beefcake and the cheesecake in the comics kind of makes sense sometimes, because these guys and gals are going to have to be fit in order to keep up with the bad guys and to stay in fighting style. So are they therefore sexy? I suppose you might say that,
Well, no one buys a fat superhero. No one's going to be like, yeah, Luke's out there fighting crime. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to agree with you that you are fat, but...
well, I'm certainly not...
You're
Chris
not Lee.
Evans.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Right? I mean, it's
even after years of karate, neither am I. So...
I mean, I'm crippled, for crying out loud. I mean, yeah, no one believes that, it's no one's going to believe that, which is why, even as someone who spent quite a while in a wheelchair, when they start doing these, it was on Doctor Who, when they start doing the heroes in wheelchairs and things like that for inclusion, I'm like, that's pandering. There's a difference. That's pandering and it's stupid. I wasn't kicking nobody's butt when I was in a wheelchair. It's like, I need you to hold the door for me. How am I going to save anyone? It was just.
Oh, yeah. Carol is saying I need to tell everyone the beginning, the middle, and the end. Hey, no. Just know that this is definitely a hero's journey. She has a great arc. This trilogy is very, very well written. I'd suggest getting the books too, of course, and I'm hoping that Hollywood sees this. And even if I hope that they do, and they involve Janice more than they've involved other creators, because I would want her vision to be well preserved.
I don't like that there. Let me fix that.
Apex Comics is here. How you doing,
Welcome,
man? Thanks
Apex
for being
Comics.
Here. He's saying hi to Carol and to Dave Brink and to you. Awesome.
Welcome. It's nice to see you today.
So this character, for those of you who joined after we started, this is Naya. She is the main protagonist in the Healing Wars Book 1, Part 1, The Shifter, which Dojo Comics has an exclusive license to adapt into comic book form. Book 1, Part 1 is going to be 28 pages, and it sets up the whole what is perilous about this world. So you find out right away what Naya is dealing with, what her abilities are. So all of that gets set up, and then it leaves you wanting more, in my opinion. And book 2 will be hot on its heels. If this funds, and I'm certainly hoping it does, because I really want to bring this to the people. We have on Incendiary this Wednesday, we have a book reviewer coming on. And I did that on purpose, not a comic book creator this time, but a book reviewer. Hopefully she's had an opportunity to read this trilogy, and we'll be talking to her about that. She's got her website is the Redhead Notes. So you might guess what she might, what her attribute might be. So she's going to be on. We're going to talk.
Ginger.
Right. We're going to be talking to her about, do comic book fans read novels anymore? And I mean, I think the easy answer is, of course they do, but not necessarily. So we're going to have our tongue-in-cheek debate like we always do.
The only prose books that I read are like educational, like theory books, like theology books.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't read fiction unless it's in comic book form.
Okay. All right. I still enjoy stories that are sword and sorcery fantasy kind of books. That's really been my jam for a long, long time. Yeah, I like those most.
Used to read all that stuff, but I don't know, man. You go into seminary and you do all that stuff, and all your book collection just becomes academic because that's all you have time for. And
I see.
And
are you
that's
still
the books that you have? No, I'm done with that.
Okay.
No, I am. I'm finished there. I don't have to be finished.
I hear you.
There's no such thing as finished with that. You could go to school forever. But no, I'm not going back.
So what I was saying about,
I don't need that when I'm drawing comic books.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it doesn't help much there.
Not a bit.
So Incendiary, the YouTube stream that's on this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. This time, like I said, we've got a book reviewer. But what we do is we have a debate every week with someone who is creating comics. We look at their comic toward the end of the show. And the debate we have is meant to be a little clickbaity. Like we had one, do women belong in comics? And everyone on the panel agreed, yes, they do. But the fun there was, yeah, but there are some specific women who should just fly a kite. Like Kelly Sue DeConnick, for example, or Kathleen Kennedy. We had some examples of women who need to stay the heck out of comics because they're ruining it. However, there are great women. It's
not because they're a woman.
No.
It's because they're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. They just happen to be women. There are great women in comics. Renee Strakowski, for example, is a great woman in comics. Quen Tung, who I've worked with for years, who's a great letterer. Piper is a great one that Luke's been working with recently. With was it AL13? How is that? ARL13?
ARL13.
Merkmaid.
The little Merkmaid. So right. She and Eric Hodson were part of the creative team for Pixel Trader on that one.
Okay.
We're putting that out through Arrow. And then she's the editor for Hybrids, and she is the writer for Rift Riders.
Excellent. So, See, that's just it. We've got great examples. Mandy Summers is another one. People, listen, I've heard people say the only reason she's popular is because she puts her tits out there all the time. Hey, listen, she's attractive, no doubt about it. But her books... Her what?
So I wish I had tits. if that's how you sell books, I guess.
But you know what? You get the book and you read the book by Mandy Summers, and it's damn good. Yeah. I've read several of, and I just got Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter 2 in the mail yesterday. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but the first one was good enough, obviously, that I wanted the second one. Nothing to do with her physical attributes. It has everything to do with the fact that she's got good books. And
the truth is she's not just selling books because she's a woman.
Right.
She's selling books because she's hustling and she's out there and she fulfills doing it. Yeah. She
fulfills her books. Their books are well written. She's got great artists on her books. So another example of a great woman in comics. There are more, but those are the ones that come to mind immediately.
Yep. I really like this new creator coming up, Carissa Grant. She is really impressing me with her hard work.
Yes, Carissa's been on our show too.
Yeah,
You're right.
She is. She's quite impressive. The hard work she does. I mean,
that's the episode she was on. Now that you mention it, do women belong in comics? So my point to bring that up is we often have debates about things that we all agree that yes, women belong in comics, but the debate is just meant to be fun. It's meant to be tongue-in-cheek. It's just meant to get people talking. However, recently there have been people who don't understand, I guess, that that's a thing with debates, and they got all butthurt because we said something that they disagreed with. It's like,
that's kind of the point, right?
You're kind of proving the point now. You're taking what I didn't actually think was real and proving that it is. So, okay.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I don't know if that was your intent.
It's crazy.
Yes.
But, I mean, you just can't explain to some people some things.
No.
It's like...
I think that this person was intentionally misunderstanding for their narcissistic narrative.
Oh, imagine that.
That's where I'm at with
narcissistic narrative. I don't even really know what you're talking about, but...
That's fine.
Yeah. I'm good to not know, because...
Right.
As you've seen on Twitter this week, I've got my own drama to deal with.
Yes. They are really coming at you pretty hard.
Yeah. Doesn't really bother me like I thought that it might. But, I mean, because the truth is, I guess the closer you get to a certain goal, the more people are going to notice. And some people are going to rally and support, and some people are not. So
Grey Wolf is telling me, don't forget Rini Draws. Yeah, that's the first one I mentioned, Grey Wolf. That's Rini Sturkowski. Absolutely.
Just call her by her flat name.
Right. Carol says, I'm still CG slum level Apex, but I'll take it. Nothing wrong with a little slum life.
Yeah.
She says,
I'm not on the slums and stuff like that because they're on too late at night.
Oh, are they?
It's on too late at night for me. I'm old. I go to bed early. I wake up early and I draw.
I'm older than you are, dude, but I'm up very late.
Yeah, well.
So she's wearing Converse? Is that what I'm seeing here?
I think so.
The star? That's a Converse, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw a star in one of the images.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the setting that she's in would be late Renaissance, early industrial era, I guess. But her clothes seem a little analogous.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Maybe DG will host a geriatric CG slum hour once a month for those people whose bedtimes.
Great.
Yes.
I would be there, yeah. I love it.
Who else has early bedtimes? I think that maybe Aaron Lepresti has an early bedtime.
I actually stopped doing my 10 o'clock stream on Tuesday nights. I was just too tired.
Mike Barron will dip out right in the middle of the show because it's bedtime. He'll be like, all right, well, gotta go. It's time.
Time for bed, yeah.
So this is looking really good.
Thank you.
I like it.
It's been a while since I've done a Luke's Draw. This is the first one I've done in months. I've been so busy.
I'm honored then that you have me on for it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just thought, man, it'd be nice to... I know there's a lot of people out there trying to get a little signal boost, and, if we can come on a Sunday afternoon and, get somebody some couple backers and learn about a character that we haven't paid too much attention to, and it's even better if it's on Fund My Comic.
Yeah. Right.
Because of reasons.
They're good reasons. Yep. Now, if you go to Fund My Comic and have a look at my campaign, you'll see that I have it out there for 365 days.
Quite a few days, yeah.
I did that one because it was available, but number two because I still need to have the time to reach out to those audiences that I don't normally get eyes on my projects. So I really needed time to do that. I also launched on Kickstarter. That was a disaster, mostly because the only people that are funding there are trying to get me to use their funding backing support mechanism or something.
Yes.
It costs money, and I'm getting I see your campaign. It looks very excellent to me, and I'd like to talk to you about making it better. I want to support you, but
we have some of those people on Fund My Comic.
Oh.
And so as soon as someone brings them to my attention, well, they get the ban hammer.
Okay, good.
Because there's no such thing as a Fund My Comic expert.
That's right. Yeah,
I'm not even an expert. What the heck? So yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, but those long funding periods was part of that freedom that I wanted to offer people.
Yes.
Because, sometimes 30 and 60 days ain't enough time. You need to have it up for a while. Because just for the same reason that you're talking about, you're trying to find an audience. And let's be honest, I love the audience that we have. But there are other people out there that are potential comic book fans that could enjoy this just as much as anyone else.
Absolutely.
And I think we ought to try to help them find it. I don't really like this boob. It's just not really working for me. I mean, I had made her really busty, and now I tried to thin her down. Because I don't want.
I know some girls blossom a little earlier than others, but
16 still is a little young for as big as I had them.
Yeah. Okay. Agreed.
Yeah. I had them.
So Carol says that she might have something for Fund My Comic next year. We'll be watching for that. Apex says never launch on Kickstarter. Well,
what did he call it? Kickstarter?
Kickstarter, yeah. I have a bit of history with Kickstarter. There were several campaigns that were cloned off of Indiegogo and put on Kickstarter by somebody who didn't own the comic. And it was Vinny Tartamella that really brought it to my attention. He had Shadow of the Kraken on Indiegogo, and somebody from Afghanistan or Kazakhstan cloned it all and put it up on Kickstarter as if it was their own. Didn't even take Vinny's name off of it. They just put it up on Kickstarter, complete copy paste, and they had a bunch of backers. They were up to like $5,000, and Vinny was livid. Understandably, and didn't know what to do. People were bringing it to Kickstarter's attention, and they were doing nothing about it. So I contacted them and said, "This is fraud. This is literally the definition of fraud." And I said, "I'm a fraud examiner. I'm obliged to say something to you, ask you to take it down. If you don't, I'll go to the Federal Trade Commission." And Kickstarter's response was basically, "Do what you got to do." And I'm like, "Okay."
Because based on their terms of service,
yeah, it wasn't.
They're not liable for any of that.
So I'm like, okay, well, not bluffing. If I identify a fraud, I'm obliged to report it to the Federal Trade Commission. So I did. Now, listen, like I said, it was $5,000. Okay. I didn't think that they would pay any mind to it, because the Federal Trade Commission, just like most federal organizations, have much bigger fish to fry. I figured that they would look at that and go, "Yeah, okay, that's nice." But they did. It must have been a slow day or something. They immediately contacted Kickstarter and said, "Knock it off." It was down within 3 hours.
See, I don't even need to be told by the Federal Trade Commission to do that. We check, honestly, you know that? I don't know if you know that or not. We actually check to see if there's a duplicate campaign somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Good for you. I appreciate that. As a customer of Fund My Comic, or as somebody trying to get funded there, I appreciate the fact that you guys take the time to do that.
We're new, right? It's like 9 months, 8 months that we've been active publicly. So we still have a lot of growth, and we're still learning and figuring out a lot of kind of what we're going to be long term, which is one of the things that I was trying to express with some of the discussion about our promotion and how we do promotion, and why our section about that is somewhat vague and broad, because we don't know exactly what all we're going to do. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, they know exactly how they're going to promote. They know exactly what kind of promotional items they're going to use, what their plans are. We don't yet. And we're being very creative and kind of out of the box with it, with the street team. One of the things that we're doing is when people create those FMC book cover graphics, we're going to turn those into stickers. And we're going to put on the back a QR code that goes to their campaign.
Oh,
if
nice.
they have a storefront. That way they're evergreen, you know. But so that's one of the things we're trying to do. And then
I got one made by Peter Orchard Studios of Deanna Hammer of the Angels.
Yes.
With the FMC book. So I'll have to show that to you.
Yeah. Definitely tag us in that, because we like to help promote and share those things out.
Okay.
And
so speaking of setting up your campaigns on Fund My Comic, Grey Wolf Graphics says, I'll need help walking through setting my campaign up on FMC when I get ready. I'd thought about doing an ebook version of my first one, but decided against it for now. Yeah. If you need help, Luke and his staff are definitely very helpful. What are you doing, Luke? I'm curious.
I'm doing one of those little boxes in the background.
Oh, I know. Okay, cool. Carol Colors, in reference to her book being ready by next year. We only have 3 pages drawn, so it's going to be a minute. Yep. It's good that you're working on it ahead of time if you can. Apex says, I'm having a weird time setting up my sign-up page on MailChimp. I changed my phone number and I can't verify my account. Oh, that's a problem.
MailChimp, yeah, it can be. They've added a number of new security things, which are great. And they also have included some new AI tools for automating some of your process. But again,
okay,
nice. But
so Shadowpunk has joined us. Hey, Shadowpunk. He says, I'm digging this illustration. Yeah, me too. Grey Wolf says, I have a Stripe account, but haven't added any funds to it yet. Yeah, I have a Stripe account too. I thought I was going to be hitting cons right around the time that my campaigns were launching, and then the pandemic said, no,
not today.
Yeah, right. Paul says, this is a great piece. What are you going to do with it, Dojo? Do with it? Do I get this piece?
This is yours.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
You can do with this whatever you want. You can have it colored. You can just use this grayscale thing that I'm doing. You can offer it as a free print to everybody that backed today or anyone on the campaign. It is for you to use to promote the book and the campaign.
Wow, thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's 100% free.
Did not even know that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When you asked for suggestions or somebody that needed a signal boost, I was just like, that in and of itself would be awesome. So yeah, the fact that this is
my way of giving back.
Very cool.
Yeah, feels like it's just something I try to do to help out.
The box that you're putting behind, George Perez and Keith Giffen both did that a lot.
Yep.
And I thought that such a great, I don't know, if you're going to just have like a no background, that box there, I don't know, it gives it some kind of like scale or something. I don't even know what to call it because I'm not an artist, but it does.
It adds so much.
There was a Legion of Superheroes set of illustrations, individual, members, and there was like 30 or 50 of them. And they looked excellent. I love to see them all next to one another. All the colors, all the boxes were different colors. It showed, it frames the figure. Thank you, Shadowpunk. That's great. Yep, good point.
What I'm doing right now is I'm just adding some kind of some shape shading.
Okay.
Like kind of the big stuff, then I'll go in and refine it a little bit.
So yeah, Paul, that's a good question. What am I going to do with this? I'm thinking that something I haven't done before is trading cards.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I did do a trading card game. Well, no, it was more of a it's a card game. It's a mint tin game. These cards are small. They fit in the mint tin with the dice, and I created a game. It's pretty simplistic, but it's fun, and it was something I hadn't seen before on Projectile Reptile. So I'm hoping that
I ordered that.
I saw. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah,
I want that. Yeah.
I've got the game all set. So I might have to resort to doing what Professor Murph did with War Party. I might have to send this out in stages and just eat the cost of the postage, because I do not like being late like this. It feels hypocritical, even though I've got excuses. That's all they really are. If you're a backer, you may think that, yeah, well, then you need to plan better. And it's like, yes, this is a lesson learned. And
do you want to talk about what happened? Like, what was the?
There was a few things, not the least of which is the death of my dad, and the fact that my father-in-law has been in ICU now for 50 straight days.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we are struggling mightily here. Like, Deanna's not home right now. She's up in Bay City, which is about an hour and a half away.
Do you pray?
I'm sorry, I don't anymore.
Can I pray for him now?
Absolutely.
What's his name?
His name is David.
Okay, God. I pray for David in the ICU. I know better than anybody what you can do physically for healing a heart and healing a body. 52 days in the ICU I spent.
Oh.
And I'm here and I'm breathing, I'm alive because of the power of prayer. And God, right now I ask that same power go to David. That same power go and touch his body. God, I pray for his healing, and God, I pray for the hearts of Brian and his wife as they're dealing with these struggles. And God, I just pray that you will make sure he feels loved and supported and cared for during this time. I pray this in your holy name, amen.
Thank you so much, Luke.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
When somebody asks if they can pray for me, I never decline that offer, because that is a show of support, and I appreciate it.
Well, I always ask because I know some people don't want. I mean, I'm going to pray anyway. I might just pray privately.
Yeah, right. That's
like
true.
It's like well, it's going to happen. So I mean, but
I mean, whether or not I believe, I know that you believe. So the fact that you would pray for David, I appreciate.
And I really do believe what can be accomplished with prayer.
Apex is with you. He says in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I believe 100% that I am here only because of the healing that I received through prayer. So I do believe it. But yeah, I spent 51 days in the ICU.
Wow.
52 days. Sorry. Total of 5 months in the hospital.
That's
that
a long
sucked.
time. Right.
Like, yeah, that sucked. There's no way around. There's no two ways around that. It was not fun. Right,
so I noticed an optical illusion on what you're drawing.
All right.
If you put her straight up and down, and then look at the line that you created to make the box, okay? Mm-hmm. The box, when it goes through her, what would be her right hand on our left, mm-hmm. It looks like the line between her fingers is at a diagonal, even though I know it isn't, because I watched you draw the line.
Yeah, not.
It's an optical illusion, but it's like, yeah. Look at that. It looks like it's diagonal.
Yeah, we're going to fill in that box a little bit.
Okay.
So there's still a lot of work to do here.
You see what I mean, though? How it looks?
I do, yeah.
Like it's not. I mean, it's a straight line, but yeah, it looks like it's a diagonal line.
Wants to play with you.
Yep. So I finally read Shadowpunk. I see him in the chat, and I was warned ahead of time about that one page where you need to read it down the left side and then back up the right side. So I knew that was coming. You kind of surprised a couple of people, but yeah, the book is great, and I think you did a great job, Shadowpunk.
I can't remember if I got his book or not.
I think, though, if I had any criticism, I would say that the lettering, the font color choice made it sometimes difficult to read. And the logo is on the cover, but I didn't realize it was for a while because it's so dark. I think you may want to do something that has more of a contrast for your next issue. Just some hopefully constructive criticism. The book, though, it looked phenomenal. I loved all of the buildup you did beforehand with your animation. I know we talked about it in the back rooms, and then you talked about it on Bancroft's show, but that was a lot of work, and kudos to you for that. I think that what that did really was put a lot of eyes on your project that might not have otherwise noticed, just because you were a first-time creator. But because you're a first-time creator and you did that, and you did the amazing 3D prints of a lot of characters that were big in the indie scene, I think both of those things together really drew people to your campaign.
You did a lot right on that.
Yeah, definitely.
You just got to have a hustle when you're doing this, don't you?
You do.
You got to have a hustle about yourself.
In the first week that the Shifter had launched, I was on 18 shows. For Siamese, all told, I was on 80 shows. And it was because of all those 80 shows that I was able to create the CG guide when I did.
Oh, nice.
I kept track of all the shows I was on. So many things have changed. So many shows have either changed their time, the name of the show, the entire show is gone, and new ones have been added. It's hard to keep up with, and folks forget to remind me about it. So the CG guide is far outdated. I took it down.
Yeah, there's a lot of streamers are not streaming the way that they used to, or at least the content that they used to.
Yes. RJ Williams says, "Hey, all nerds! I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time." Then you're at the right place. We try to have a good time. How long do you go, Luke, on your Luke draws?
Hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
Depending on how long it takes me. It's normally an hour and a half is what it takes me.
It looks like you're close to done. I love this piece.
I am.
I think that you did
nearing the end.
Keep her young, which I appreciate, because she is just a teenager. And RJ, this is Naya from the Healing Wars Book 1, Part 1, The Shifter, which is available right now on Fund My Comic, looking for support. If it's not a book that you want to support, just retweeting if you see us on Twitter, or if you want to share this out right now that Luke is drawing Naya, that would be awesome. Any kind of help is much appreciated. And Luke, again, thank you for not only having me on to give it a bit of a signal boost, but also drawing this great picture of Naya. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Yeah, we hadn't talked for a while, so it was nice to connect with you.
I appreciate that too. There was a bit of the drama that I didn't talk about that sort of it didn't create a rift between us, but we viewed it differently. So we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, I view that whole thing as, wow, that's a lot of petty.
Yeah.
On both sides. I'm an unimpressed centaur when it comes to the whole thing.
I know what you mean by that. I just recently saw that meme.
Yeah, and I think you misunderstood my position on that a little bit.
That's okay.
Where I'm good. It's like it doesn't matter.
So RJ says he's making a lot of shorts lately. YouTube algorithm supports them. Yes, absolutely. I've had a few shorts get 20,000 views, which I didn't expect. So that's cool. And then RJ says
I just thought of a really funny joke about. Never mind.
About shorts? Are you being a 12-year-old?
Yeah. It's like, well, my short wouldn't get 20,000 views if I put it online. I'm sorry. I could help myself.
Telepathic Bunny is with us. He's called The Rabbit Hole. A belly button? What kind of porn am I watching? Oh, come on. Midriffs are the in thing, Cooper.
That's the sexiest thing you're going to see me put on this character.
That's right. I Dream of Jeannie style. Yeah. This is as far as I want Naya to get, as far as being, you know, having anything sexy.
Sorry, I was just about to lose a lung there.
Don't do that.
Well, I caught a bad cough this week, and
Oh,
so I've kind of been fighting a cold, and I'm doing better. Had to sleep in the guest room
oh,
all week, so I didn't keep Beth up so she can go to work.
I've heard
I
that.
got to make sure that sugar mama keeps bringing in the bacon.
Right? I too have a sugar mama. Despite my years of experience and five professional certifications and 3 degrees, she still makes more than I do.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I guess-
one of these days, Fun My Comic will change that. But
It
to this
could.
point, she is my sugar mama.
It really could, as it picks up more and more. Get a room, you guys. As it picks up more and more people who particularly are well-funded, like Mike Barron. I've seen him on your platform.
Yep.
I think Lepresti either has or will be. Has Lepresti been on before?
No, he has not been on yet.
Okay.
We do hope to have him on. We love them, and it'd be great to see one of their books come on. Rainey has been on, doing well. The Frog Father says that he's bringing one at some point.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
I have weird
unimpressed.
names for
I'm
everybody.
unimpressed centaur on that one.
Unimpressed. Oh yeah, that's what your drama was about. Oh, I remember now. That was funny. But yeah, you guys are like going back from like, why is this being wasted time on?
I can look back and laugh now. I didn't find it very amusing at the time.
Right. Yeah. I imagine.
So yeah, I was just checking my schedule. So this week I said we've got the book reviewer on this Wednesday, but 1 week from this Wednesday, Aaron Lepresti will be on to talk about Kit Carter. And
Nice.
the fun debate we're going to have, and you'll appreciate this. This is all meant tongue in cheek, folks. It's just for fun. Everybody realize that. The debate is going to be, do wives wreck everything?
Oh, that's funny.
We're going to have fun with that. And I'm
It's like
hoping
we're not seriously sexist.
Yeah, I'm hoping that pokes Shelly enough that she'll come on the stream with him.
Yeah. Shelly, I'm gonna start calling her Mama Bear Lepresti. Yeah. Do not mess with her people.
She was on my show long ago before we became incendiary. Kevin K Manifesto and I were co-hosts of a show called the K Manifesto Show with Dojo Kun Comics.
I remember that.
And we one time had the better half. So we had Melanie Bancroft on, Shelly Lepresti was on. We had Derek Clay's wife. What's her first name? Help me out. Was it Denise? No, I think it starts with a C. Oh, I'm terrible. But we had 4 wives on the show, including Deanna. My wife was on the show. And then that one was so well received, we did it a second time and had other wives. We had Aaron Neff's wife, Frequency Girl, was on the show, and we just had a lot of fun with that, sort of poking at them, getting them to tell us inside scoop on their husbands and some of the things that they. And sometimes, they would say like, "Oh, really? Are you serious? You're going to do another campaign? Oh, my heart."
Right? Yeah, that's usually the. My wife's like, "You're campaigning again?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Right.
She's like, "Our life is all about campaigns now, right?" I said, "Yes."
Telepathic Bunny says, "Getting canceled by millionaires is fun." So he knows what I'm talking about. I can tell.
Oh yeah, he was canceled by Millionaire.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was epic. It took very little time. It's like, wow, very efficient. It's funny.
So
well, it's funny now.
Nowadays,
We can
right?
laugh now. Yeah, we can laugh now. Couldn't laugh then.
I loved the story that Shelley told of when she first started dating Aaron. And she asked him what he did for a living. And when he said comic books, she said, at least in her mind, she said, "What are you, 12? Then he got his residual paycheck for Amazing Spider-Man. And she's like, oh,
Oh.
okay.
There was money to be had there,
Yeah, like, oh, that's different.
especially for someone like Aaron Lopresti,
Yeah,
who is
right.
a tremendous talent.
Yes, he is, and a good guy. So I like to see good guys also get the good paychecks.
Yeah. We don't get residuals in indie comics
We don't.
when we do this, but it's all right.
Well,
If we
at
own
least
it, we do.
We could say yet, because when Dark Horse Comics started, they didn't know that there was going to be all those movies based on their characters.
True.
Excuse me. That came out of nowhere.
No, it came out of your nose.
No, I held it in, which is probably not good for my heart or my brain.
No, or your eyeballs, from what I'm told. That's funny. Yeah, I think we're just about finished here.
Awesome.
I try to add a little bit of a texture to these backgrounds, and
Okay.
I've got these little tricks so I can get things done in an hour and a half. And
I think it's amazing that not only did it come out this good, but it was so quick.
yeah, I always start with a little bit of a something.
Like the
Like a
figure that
little
you had drawn
outline,
at
yeah.
the beginning? Yeah.
Yeah, I always start out with just a little bit of that, so I've got something to put in there.
So What Geeks Do Network, who was here from the start, says, nice art. Yeah, I agree. Telepathic Bunny says, one tweet and 3 years of network building was gone. Yeah, I hear you. Unfortunately, that same thing, I got canceled by the same person, and it happened the week I was launching. So it could very well be that affected. I'm not going to use
What
that
you
as a
got-
crutch.
Did you? What was it? July? Because July
No.
canceled him.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Then we're talking about different millionaires.
Yep. Yep.
No, Eric July followed me back, but probably still doesn't know who I am.
Yep. I
That's
really
okay.
like anonymity.
In some
Unfortunately,
cases,
I don't have as much of it as I used to.
yeah, sometimes anonymity helps. Sometimes it's a hindrance.
Now, here's what I think I can make this whole thing bigger. Now that we've got a.
Oh, like make it fill the white square more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it fill the paper more.
Awesome. Paul, thanks for being here. He says, have a good end of the show and a good night, guys, and chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
night
good to see you, Paul. Thank you for backing. Once again, I appreciate it. Telepathic Money says, to be honest, I can laugh, but it does hurt a bit. No, absolutely. I can look
Yeah.
back and laugh at what happened. But yeah, I was pretty salty about it when it was going down. And when I really think about it, and I probably shouldn't, when I really think about it, I'm still upset about what was said. I was misrepresented quite a bit on that EFAP. But
I
give it-
recall that. I don't understand why people feel the need to EFAP small channels.
and then lie about what was said earlier.
I think they got in their. I think they got in their emotions on that one a little bit, and
maybe.
I
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe EVS felt genuinely hurt by you. I mean, weren't you in like some of the back rooms and stuff?
Yes, he said that I was in the back rooms complaining that people weren't backing me. That actually wasn't my complaint, although I did complain. So let's own up to it. I complained that when I asked for retweets, I wasn't getting it. So he said he went on Twitter and baited me into an argument about that very thing. And I went right for it. He's right. I did. But as soon as he was mean to me, I bowed out. Now, he said my response was F you. But my response was really, are you serious? Have a nice day. And I was just going to stop interacting. But apparently he saw it differently. Carol says, you want to know what's cool? Yes, we want to know what's cool. What's cool, Carol? Seeing something you colored on the cover of a comic for the first time and hold it in your hands. Which comic was that, Carol? Yes, I'm sure that's very cool.
She colored one of these. I did one of these for Doc Blaylock. and I got a
okay.
little carried away.
Was it
So
Pariah?
instead of doing, yeah, Pariah. So instead of Blood and Mud.
But it's
Blood and Mud, yeah. So instead of doing the little box in the back, I was like, oh, I framed it with some trees, and then I just got carried away, and I wound up going for like 2 hours. For like 2
Okay.
hours on it, because I just got, because I love Swamp Thing, right? And it was similar to Swamp Thing, so I just kind
Right.
of got lost in the sauce.
It was Pariah, Blood and Mud, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That was a lot
Yeah,
of
she
fun.
says, yeah, Docs, it's so cool. Yeah, it is cool. The first time I was published as a comic book author and saw my name on the cover and all of the things I had written were drawn on the cover and inside the comic, that was surreal. I loved it. That was back in 2014, but yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, it is a very neat feeling, and it's it never gets old. Never gets
No.
old. I love doing this stuff. Like right now, I'm working on this story called. Let me back this up a little bit. This is a page. This is pages 132 and 133 of this book.
Wow.
And I still think it's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Luke, or not Luke, you are Luke. Dave Brink thinks you're doing a great job on Naya too. He says your rendition is pretty nice. I agree.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's fun drawing that one. I liked it. So, yeah, I've got the TIFF saved. I'll make sure to get you a link to that here momentarily in the
Sweet.
what do you call it? The chat over there. But yeah, I'm glad that that drama is getting behind you there, buddy. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's just I moved on pretty quick, even though, looking back at it, I'm not happy. It is what it is, and we're looking for backers on the shifter anyway.
yeah. I mean, and you've gotten some. Let's look at the campaign real quick before we head out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like all the drama and the fighting, and it just gets exhausting. And it's like all this drama over our terms of service. Either you like it or you don't. Use the site, don't use the site. We have so many amazing creators like you on the site. There's no reason for us to fight over someone who literally has no dog in the fight. Hasn't backed anything on Fund My Comic, and doesn't even have a project to put up there.
Oh, so he's just stirring shit to stir shit.
Yes.
Nice.
And ate up hours and hours of my time that is supposed to be spent either fulfilling commissions or taking care of guys like you that are on the website.
Right.
And when I pointed that out to him, that's what upset him, I think. I explained to him, I was like, look, we've spent 3 hours today talking about this through text, and now we're 15 minutes on the phone, and we're not getting anywhere. It's a circular argument. It's not going to work. He said, we can't enforce an exception, even if we were willing to make an exception for one user to not have to abide by our terms of service. There's no way that we could enforce that long term.
Agreed.
And I said it's just not how it's going to work. And I mean, he went, from every argument in the book to then, making threats. And at which point, I was like, well, I didn't think much of it, because, I get threatened a lot. More than you realize.
That's so sad.
And so I was like, it's not a big deal or whatever. But it spiraled out of control Monday night on socials, and then Tuesday. So much so on Tuesday, I had to actually call my lawyer's office, and I'm asking him, I don't know what I need to do about this. And so he was out for the holiday. So on Monday we'll talk. I said, I still don't know what I need to do about it. Like what is
Well, I hope that gets behind you quickly.
I do too. Like I don't want to, like, I'm not going to sue him, because what's the point? He doesn't have any money. Like,
Yeah,
that's
right.
stupid. Like, why would you sue someone who has no money? That judge would waste money on that. But I do need advice on, what do I, do we issue a cease and desist? Do we?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Do I file a restraining order with the police department with the threats being involved? He's not like outright threatening, but he used some intimidating language on the phone.
Okay.
Insinuated that he hopes I'm comfortable here in Southern Indiana. And I'm like, I am comfortable in Southern Indiana. Like, why would you say that? And then
That sounds like the mafioso. Hey,
and that didn't bother me until Tuesday. When I was like, oh, wait a second. Like, this has gone well beyond what I would expect this to be. And so hopefully we can get that behind us.
Dave Brink says, people threaten Luke because he reaches levels of awesome they can only dream of.
There we go. That's got to be it. I'm taking that.
That's it, Dave.
That's what it is.
Good call.
Guys, this is an all or nothing campaign. We have to hit this goal.
And we've got a long way to reach it.
We have a long way.
For those of you who have backed it, I super appreciate it. Please help get the word out. Like and subscribe to Luke's channel as well.
Can we get one more backer before we leave? We're at 9 right now. Let's flip.
That'd be cool.
Let's flip Brian the Bird one last time.
Yep, get that bird dancing. The
I hit the
merengue.
refresh button again. I would like to get one more backer. Maybe I could play your trailer. How long is
do
your
that.
trailer?
It's only 30
Naya
seconds.
is an orphan with a rare gift. Others with this gift can take pain from a person and transfer it into the cobalt
hear
blue
it?
metal known
Yep.
as pinvium. But Naya's gift is flawed. She can only transfer pain from one person to another. Orphaned on an island nation occupied by a conquering enemy and trying to locate her missing sister, Naya has to make sure they don't find out, or she'll be weaponized against her own people. Be sure to back Janice Hardy's The Healing Wars, Book 1, Part 1, The Shifter, from Dojo Kun Comics.
I'm glad I saw that. Hold on. I have to fix this. It's
What?
not done.
What do you
I
have
need
to
to add
fix?
gloves. I didn't put gloves on her.
No, it's okay.
No,
when
no, it's
she's
not.
using her power, which you've depicted here, she can't have gloves on.
Really?
Yeah, if you see it in pictures that in the
Okay.
trailer, those were.
Okay.
Oh, looks dope. Thanks, What Geeks Do Network.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of fun here.
Carol says, Apex, give me some money so I can back the book. Yeah, Apex, give her some money so she can back the book.
Yeah,
Back early, back
it's-
often.
it's really important to me that I make the characters. See, but she's wearing gloves and she's using her power there.
I don't think she's got gloves on there.
Yeah. See? They drew the lines for the gloves.
Like fingerless
And she's got gloves on there.
Oh, they're fingerless gloves. That works. Her power can go through her fingers.
Then let me do that.
Okay, yes.
Let me
that makes
fix
sense.
that.
Okay.
I have to
Does your
fix it.
family support your comic work, Brian? Well, Dave, that depends on what you mean by support. If you mean do they back my books, I'm going to have to say no, because none of them are comic book collectors, and they would. But when my dad was alive, he did back a few of my books, which I thought was very cool, because through the years when I lived at home and I would buy comic books, he would borrow and read them. So he was sort of a tertiary comic book fan. But now that he's gone, no, none of them back it. But support, if you mean like, do they encourage me in supporting in as much as saying, that's kind of cool that you're doing that. We know you've loved comics. You've collected for over 50 years now. You've been publishing since 2014. It's great that you're doing that. Then yes, they support me. Dave says he's already backed the shifter. Yes, he has. I was going over my list of backers just yesterday, in fact, because I got somebody who has a change of address. So before I send out anything, I need to make sure that I keep all of that straight.
See how easy it is to have gloves?
Yeah, right.
Piece of cake. There we go.
Carol says, Apex says to Carol, I'm a comic book artist, not a multi-thousandaire. I wish I could, Carol.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that my paycheck is from commissions. It's from doing the pages that I do and the colors and all that kind of stuff. It's not from my comic.
Oh, right.
Like,
well,
I don't actually make
I'm
money from
hoping
that.
someday it will.
You and my wife both.
Yeah, right.
She's like, yeah, it'd be nice to get some of that money back.
Because I mean, you've done a great service for the indie comics realm. Not just a certain label in indie comics, but all indie comics can use your site. I love your three what tenets, or what do you call them?
Yeah,
Your
we
three
call them pillars.
pillars. Yes,
That's our
three
pillar. That's what holds us up.
Yep. And it's good that there are three, because if there were just two, it could tip.
Yep.
So
A three-strand cord is strongest. So
right. So yeah, the three pillars are good, and I think that you deserve to get the rewards of doing this, because that was a monumental effort, and we appreciate it.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I really enjoyed the whole process. It's fun. Waking up in the morning, grab my coffee, sitting down, doing some Fun My Comic stuff, then cracking open the clip studio and doing some art.
But
man, the interiors look really good on this. Pardon me. This puzzle.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Job there. That's nice.
Zilson Costa came up with that idea. I said I'd really like her to be going from one merchant to another looking for a job, and he said, "Oh, I have an idea. Let me do something. I'll get back to you." It's like, "Oh, dude, that's perfect. Yes, do that." And his
this
work
ginger.
The work on facial expressions, that panel in particular on the upper right. I mean, wow, that perfectly encapsulates what's happening in that panel. I think he does a great job.
Who did the coloring on this?
The coloring on that, let me see. That would have been, that's going back to the first time around. Like, the colorist now will be Josh Rodriguez, but the colorist back then, I can't remember.
I like it how they added the freckles.
Yes.
Nice touch.
That was great.
Very nice touch.
Somebody says flip the bird, and then somebody says, woo, refresh.
I'm going. Let's get her done.
Did we get to 10?
Refresh. We got 10 backers for
Yes.
$91.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for flipping Brian the bird. And here we go. Bump, 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 bump.
Appreciate it.
How can you not be happy with that, right?
That's right.
All right,
Yeah.
so it's not a lot of money, but it's 3 backers. Every dollar counts.
That's right.
Thank
I
you
really
so much.
appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you so much, chat out there, the Bacon Nation, for coming by and checking this out and supporting Brian this afternoon. I almost said this morning. My goodness, I just woke up from a nap before I came up here.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So yeah, feels like morning. I was at church early because I ran sound today.
Oh, okay.
And it was too early for me.
Unsung heroes of a lot of organizations are the sound guys.
Yeah, I actually like running sound. It requires no practice through the week.
That's true.
I just show up and wiggle buttons, and that's fun. That's fun. But no, yeah. So, thank you for coming out and supporting Brian this afternoon.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We do appreciate you sharing this out.
And thanks for all you did today, Luke. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Tell me, is there anything that you want to leave the crowd with today before we leave?
Yes. All ages, appropriate for anyone to read this. So it's also appropriate for you to get, if you've got a daughter, a niece, a granddaughter, someone young in your life, this is perfect for them to read as well. It's a great hero's journey with a female protagonist.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes.
I don't remember if I've backed it. I have to check my history. I back so many things I forget.
Well,
So-
you know a guy who's a little bit about Fun My Comic. You'll be able to find it.
I do. You know what? Here's how you find out, and I'll show everyone how you find that business out. Oh, I have to log in. My password's hidden. And everyone knows Luke at funmycomic.com is how you email me. You find that out by going over here to My Contributions. We're working on coding that will allow you to export all of your contributions into a CSV file
Oh,
so that you can record them for your taxes
okay,
and your
cool.
personal records. No one does that for backers, and we want to. So I don't think I've backed you yet. I'm gonna have to remedy that. So we'll have to make the bird dance after I get off the.
Okay, sounds good. And thank you then if you do.
Yeah, I think I want to get a copy of this. I think my daughter will enjoy it. I might enjoy it too.
I'm sure you will. Yes, I enjoyed the novels, so yeah, the comic will be fun too.
Well, I really liked that Katniss Everdeen book.
Okay. Yep. The Hunger Games.
That was good. I enjoyed it. Let's see on the list there. Yeah, I've got a few things here on the list.
I see that.
Shifter, I did back it.
Oh, there it is. Awesome.
Yes, I did. Main cover physical edition. There you go. Yeah, I've backed it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Looking forward to it.
So Dave asks, wait, you can get tax returns? You can, depending on how you run your business, if you're creating comics, you can treat backing other people's comics as research.
Mm-hmm.
And it's legitimately research because you are looking for things that work well and things not to do. So it's legitimately research, and you can deduct that from your earnings from creating a comic.
Every comic book that I buy is a tax write-off for me.
I don't know if the same is true in the Netherlands, though, Dave. You might have to check into that.
But at least here in the U.S., because I own a crowdfunding website, and it's from my own website, and I'm a comic book creator, it is research for both accounts.
Good point. Yep.
It is my life. Crowdfunded comic books is my life. And you know what? That's a pretty damn good life.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a good gig if you can get it.
Yeah. Nothing, like I was saying the other day, nothing can. When you've got. So joy is a matter of outlook, and happiness is a matter of circumstance. And I think, things can make you happy, but only your outlook can make you joyful. And,
okay.
Joy is really hard to take away as long as you got a positive outlook.
Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
True. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of good stuff over here.
Yeah, there is.
Silence Do Good, it can now finally start taking pledges. They had a little trouble with their Stripe account. It's all squared away.
I see you've got Bloodbane on there. We're going to be talking to Edwin Acevedo on the 13th of December, I think, on Incendiary.
Awesome.
So come see what kind of crazy thing we're going to debate with him.
Yeah, guys, go over and make sure that you're subscribed to Dojo Kun Comics YouTube. They got a lot of good stuff going on over there. I might actually need to try to come on your show and pitch the Star-Crossed team up. We're having a little trouble getting a little traction on that too.
Okay, yeah. Reach out to me in the DMs. We'll work something out.
Happens. Well, I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna do that right there. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you.
This evening, taking part of your Sunday. Please be safe in the weather up there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I know you're up in the mitten, aren't you?
Yes, I'm up in the thumb of Michigan.
The mitten, yeah. Randy's up there too, somewhere around Flint.
Yeah, so he's about 45 minutes due west of me.
Okay. And I think Pops is up there too.
Pops is up here. Malin is up here. Sontag is up here. Those are all the Michiganders I know. Oh, wow, wait, no. Yeah. I think my own letterer, Paul Bird, I think is a Michigander.
Is Paul a Michigander as well?
I think so.
I used to know all the Florida guys, but now I know a lot of Tennessee guys.
Okay.
And I don't know any Indiana guys. Like, there's not many that I know that are actually here in here. Bacon does make everything better.
It does. I think I'll go have some.
Yeah.
We've got some wrapped around our turkey. I'm going to go get some right now, as a matter of fact.
There you go. Yeah. I'm glad you got past that drama.
Yep.
It's
Moving
it's
on.
comic books. Let's have fun with this thing, man. Look,
Yeah,
this,
it's
I wore
supposed to be
this.
escapism,
I
entertainment.
wore this to church today.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. It's my Hawaiian shirt that's got onomatopoeias all over it.
Right.
Yeah, it's my.
Very
that's how
cool.
I wore that in a blazer. That's what I do, man. I love comic books, man. Comic books are fun. We should be having a lot of fun with it. There are people out there that just are so bitter and they make things bitter. There's no reason fighting over all this stuff. Let's have a good time and sell some comic
Indeed.
books and leave the wood pile higher than we found it and all that good stuff. Brian, thank you so much for being here. I did appreciate having a chat with you today.
Yeah, it was
Very
fun. And
interesting,
Thank you
this
so much
book.
for the art.
Yeah, you're welcome. And hopefully it goes to good use for you. Thank you again, all of the chat. Man, so many of you have stayed with me the whole time. And hopefully you enjoyed the art. If you have a project that's getting ready to run on one of the crowdfunding sites, please feel free to get a hold of me and we'll do a Luke Draws. There is a little bit of bias. If you happen to have a Fund My Comic, you get first priority. Only because it's, reasons. It's like, hey, I think I'm going to go to a hamburger joint. I own McDonald's.
Yeah.
Where am I going to go? Right. So, but yeah, so feel free to contact me and we'd love to do this. We'll talk with you about your character and your projects. And just real quick before we go, anything else in the pipeline for Dojo Kun Comics that we should be keeping our eye out for?
Yes. After the shifter funds and fulfills, we're going to have Dojo Kun Chronicles, which is already 80% complete. It's over 120 pages of an anthology of stories featuring Dojo Kun superhero universe. And then Siamese 2, Trident's New Alliance, will be hopefully in early 2025.
Nice. Okay. All right. So yeah, you've got some things planned.
I do.
I'm looking
Yep.
forward to seeing all of your success.
Thank you.
Cheering you on, my friend.
From
I
your
do
mouth to
appreciate
God's ears.
it. Yes. Little street cred in church. I walk in, yo, what's up? I was part of Tupac's crew. I was hanging with Biggie. I'm silly.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Thank you for that. All right, everybody, I'm gonna play us out with with some kind of a bumper of some kind, and let's go ahead and stick with our theme. We will see you guys later. Have a good night.